What the? Oh, wait a second. Oh. The noise, it's not even that low. My noise gate is catching everything still. Noise gate, open, close. This fuck. Open threshold. Open threshold. Open threshold. Open threshold. Okay. That might be better, I think. I don't know. I don't care. You were watching Andrew Wilson. I was almost a part of that debate. I was almost in there, dude. I was almost in there. I was going to be debating Andrew Wilson, but I did not respond quick enough. Luckily. Luckily, because I can't say no. I can't say no to stuff like that. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky I was not there to respond. Let's see. Should the American military be able to strike random boats and just say they're cartels? I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Welcome back to Pod Save America, YouTube's premier South Park rewatch show. We have another wild episode to bring you today featuring Donald Trump, his rocky relationship with Satan, Fox News, and Labubu. Makes an appearance.
Oh, good.
Nice. I can't wait to ask you about that. I purposely did not research what that is because I was told you know.
My Facebook's not made yet. There's probably a bunch of
Per usual, I have watched the episode, but Lovett has not.
I have not.
John
I
has
have not, no.
Okay, so the blind reaction. Donald Trump has been the star
weekend
of season 27 of South Park. Entire episodes have revolved around his...
Returned from his historic tariff summit overseas. There's the president now looking handsome as ever. Oh, and there's the Prince of Darkness, who's been traveling with the president as of late.
I don't know about the South Park parody. It's interesting that they're going so hard against Trump. Any reasonable person who loves America in any regard, or who loves anybody who cares about their own survival and who's not stupid. I can't say that. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Whatever. It's not good to be mean to people. Where's the thing I was gonna react to? I just had it. I just had it. Morning Joe is finished. Wow, dude. What was I gonna react to? Guys, help me. David Pacman left. Oh yeah, David Pacman left the left, right? That was one of them. Yeah, you're right. David Pacman defamation lawsuit.
Well, I hate to start a show like this, but I do have to talk today about a defamation lawsuit. After Wired published a piece last week that made a number of untrue allegations, and I don't know that a lot of people I'm hearing from were really my core supporters anyway, and we're going to get to that a little bit later in the show. But I want to again say,
I don't care. All right. Ben Shapiro on
I'm Dana
Fox
Perino.
News.
Morning
What's
two,
insane?
pretty fast hour, number one, right?
In the books.
We'll keep it rolling.
Let's go.
I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. Europe's threat to American speech and innovation. That's the subject of a House
Europe's
hearing that's
threat
about
to
to get
American
underway on the
speech.
Hill.
Cool.
Judiciary Committee zeroing in on.
Is it going to be like when Europe threatened to regulate X and Trump said he would use the power of the American government to protect Elon Musk?
Europe's sweeping tech laws and how they could suppress
Yep, it is. Yes, it is.
free speech, even.
You know, I'm sure all the big tech gods, I'm sure their main concern about Europe, their main concern is about our freedom of speech. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. Thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Elon Musk. Thank you for caring about our free speech rights. My heart's warm. My heart is warm and beating, pulsating. My heart's happy knowing they care about our freedom of speech. There's no other ulterior motives or reasoning for why they would be against big tech regulation, guys.
For Americans online.
So the hearing comes as TV writer Graham Linehan was arrested on arrival at Heathrow Airport over social media posts on trans issues. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage will be giving testimony today. He spoke to Sean Hannity about this case last night.
We are literally becoming like an authoritarian state where if you express an opinion that is not liked, and bear in mind, Mr. Linehan, who lives in Phoenix, Arizona these days, you know, to be met by 5 armed officers as if he was some sort of international terrorist for literally putting jokey comments out about trans activists who played his life for years shows you what the problem is.
Well, keep in mind, he's talking about a guy who flew in from the U.S. He had been in Arizona and arrived back in the U.K. Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel follows the story now. Mike, what you learn?
Bill, Dana, good morning to you. Congress digging into speech issues in Europe over concerns it could impact the rights of Americans. A hearing getting underway in House Judiciary any moment now. I asked Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona, a member of this committee, why this matters to Congress. And he says because this law affects American businesses, people, and internet service providers.
Well, because it impacts U.S. individuals as well. I mean, they want to do everything.
There's been Andy Briggs right here. Andy Biggs is an insane guy. So there's been race riots in the UK where someone says there's a crime that happened and they lie about it. It's not an immigrant that does it, but they say, well, an immigrant ran their car through a crowd. It can be a white man in the UK, but there was a post where someone went viral saying it was another brown immigrant, and there was a literal race riot where people went out and were grabbing people out of their cars based on their skin color. These vigilantes were grabbing people out of their cars based on their skin color, based off a fake social media post saying one person who's an immigrant did a crime. So there were race riots and incitement to violence in these posts. Now in America, you're allowed to do that more so because we have the First Amendment. But the argument here is what kind of speech is inciting violence. Their threshold for that is a lot lower than it is in America. But again, the big tech gods don't give a flying shit about this, bro. It's all about their money and being able to invade our privacy.
From censor,
you think the big tech gods
all
care?
websites and do age accountability, but they also want to get into, Mike, they want to be able to get into cell phones and do backdoor hacks.
This comes as British comedian Graham Linehan posted yesterday that he's been arrested again. When he landed at Heathrow Airport, Linehan says he was met by 5 armed officers. He says they told him he was being arrested over 3 posts on X. Linehan writes, quote, in a country where pedophiles escape sentencing, where knife crime is out of control, where women are assaulted and harassed every time they gather to speak, the state had mobilized 5 armed officers to arrest a comedy writer for this tweet. And no,
So the guy called for if there's a trans-identified male in a women's-only space, people should assault them, essentially. You should make a scene, call the cops, and punch them in the balls. And they punched them in the balls as incitement. Also saying about trans demonstrators, a photo you can smell, I hate them. The direct call for assaulting people based on their demographic was the reason they did it. Now, you can disagree with that. I'm probably against that kind of law. I don't think punch them in the balls or assault them is a high enough of a threshold, but it is hard when the rhetoric leads to actual violence in the real world. And under the comedian, you don't want to limit comedian speech. But again, the Trump admin, the big tech gods, Elon Musk, they censor everything they don't like. Think about what the Trump admin does if you say you're anti-Israel. In Texas, they want to deny you the disaster funds if you don't fly an Israeli flag. if you're a college kid on a visa here and you say something even a little bit critical of Israel, they want to put you in a van and ship you off to a detention facility just off of criticizing a foreign country. Trump wants to jail people for burning the American flag. You can probably, I wonder if you can burn flags in free countries. I feel like it's a more free country where you can burn flags. A lot of Trumpers tell me they want to be more like China and Russia, where they don't let people do that stuff. They would never let you criticize the Chinese flag in China or the Russian flag in Russia. You know, I actually think it's a good thing you can do that in America.
Promise you, I am not making this up. Among the tweets, Linehan wrote, quote, "If a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent, abusive act." Piers Morgan reacted, saying, when it comes to free speech, Britain is turning into North Korea, setting the stage for today's hearing. Bill, Dana.
What a story. Okay, here we go. Mike Emanuel, thanks, live in D.C. Dana?
Well, on this, we have the perfect guest. Ben Shapiro hosts The Ben Shapiro Show, and J.K. Rowling, who I know you follow on X.
Speaking of censorship, Ben Shapiro 100% supports the banning of speech against Israel in America. He's said that multiple times. So.
He posted this: "What the F has the UK become? This is totalitarianism, utterly deplorable. It's not new, but this is a striking example of what's been going on."
Yeah, it definitely is not new. I mean, the New York Post reported just a few months ago that they'd had dozens and dozens of arrests per day based on social media postings. Meanwhile, obviously, they have crime problems that are out of control in the UK. They've had massive scandals inside the UK government and covered up by the UK media, including that Rotherham grooming gang scandal, which actually spanned a number of cities in the UK. And currently, Yvette Cooper, who's the Home Secretary over there, is talking about importing more refugees from the Middle East who are presumably not going to share sort of the UK's historic values. So this is what it looks like when a civilization decides to completely hollow itself out.
Let's see, the homicide... When a civilization wants to hollow themselves out, bro. They all use that rhetoric now. Charlie Kirk yesterday was calling the left a social contagion and saying we are de-civilizational and we want to uproot the white American state with brown immigrants. The UK's homicide rate is 1.17 per 100,000. America's homicide rate is 4 times the homicide rate in UK. That's pretty consistent. Let's see. For every European country, America's homicide rate is 5 times higher if you compare it to all of Europe in general. For firearm deaths, America has, what, 9,000 annually? UK has around 10. In America, they have 30. We have 32 firearm homicides per 1 million people compared to 0.2 in the UK. It's kind of funny we talk about the country UK, being violent and terrible, but their people live 5 years longer than we do. Yeah, it's all about perception and how you want to sell it. The incarceration rate in America is 5 times higher than the UK as well. Really cool.
Keep in mind, this guy writes sitcoms.
Yes.
All right? And a member of parliament said Britain used to be known for its sense of humor. Now the police are arresting people for making jokes. This is a high-profile deal because people know about him. There are others who people have, they're just regular folks who are, riding a keyboard inside their office or their home.
This is right. And I think that the thing that is important for Americans to know, there are really 2 things that are important. One is that speech restrictions in Europe do have an impact on American businesses. If you run a media business, for example, in the United States, and you're trying to distribute your material abroad, you have to abide by the law in those particular countries. So you do have to worry about distributing, for example, those tweets on Fox News in the UK. Could that create legal liability? These are actual issues that lawyers have to think about. And then the second big thing to remember here is that the First Amendment is the most robust and most well-defended amendment of the United States Constitution. If that were not the case, if the Supreme Court had a different orientation, you would be seeing hate speech exceptions to free speech written into the Constitution, and this sort of thing would be happening in states presumably like California and also in New York.
I think the other thing that's...
Someone said, would you rather live in Israel or a Muslim country? Name a Muslim country. Every Muslim country is not the same.
very disturbing about this is that this is a British guy who was in America, wrote the tweets while he was on American soil.
Muslim country.
But the armed guards in Heathrow, they must have tracked him and his flight so that they could be there and receive him.
I'm sorry, unlike the, and by the way, I mean, people right now getting stopped at the border for criticizing Donald Trump. That's happening as well, and no one cares, obviously. It's a tired discussion.
At the airport and arrest him off the plane, send him to the hospital.
This is exactly right. So apparently, he wrote in his Substack that when he got to the airport in the United States, there was some sort of snafu with the ticket, and he realized later that that actually was the airline that was coordinating probably with British authorities to ensure that they had officers on the ground ready to take him away to jail for these bad tweets. I mean, it's insane.
Well, another story out of London, ironically. Chris Martin of Coldplay cannot stay out of the news. His thing was to put two people, a couple, on the big screen, and we know what happened in Boston, Massachusetts. And now he's calling fans on stage. So he called these two young ladies on stage. He asked them where they were from, and this is how it went. Watch carefully here.
Where did you come from today? From Israel. Okay, well, listen. I'm going to say this. I'm very grateful that you're here as humans, and I am treating you as equal humans on earth, regardless of where you come from or don't come from. Thank you for being here. We're grateful, and thank you for being loving and kind. Okay, and riding aside. And although it's controversial, maybe, I also want to welcome people in the audience from Palestine, because we have a belief that we're all equally human.
So there was another route he could have taken. He could have said, good evening, thanks for coming.
Yes.
And I'm sorry what your country's been through going back to October 7th.
He definitely could have
and
done
bring
that.
the hostages home.
Well, in Yiddish, we'd call him a schmuck, because he is. I mean, the fact is that Chris...
Bring the hostages home. So you want him to be explicitly political? It is an interesting reaction, like, going from Israel, like, oh, thank you for being here as equal people. He's obviously sending a message of you don't, or your country at least, does not respect people as equal where you are in regards to Palestinians. But Fox News wants him to be like, hey, by the way, down with Hamas, release the hostages.
Martin is a fool. I think that probably what happened is that because he is a rote liberal...
At a Coldplay concert. I mean, at a rock, pop, whatever concert. I mean, if you want to send a vague message about accepting everybody, that's fine. Why would he ever say something like, I don't know, either one, river to the sea, or release the hostage? Like, it's just like, why would you make a political statement there? If you want to send like a virtue signal like he did, I don't care.
He heard the boos on stage from the crowd of the fact that these fans were from Israel, and he decided that he had to now make excuses for the fact that these people were on stage. And so what, he's granting them their humanity because they're from Israel? He has to pat them on the head. Can you imagine if
that is kind of interesting.
The situation were reversed? Let's say that these had been people who are from, for example, the Gaza Strip, and they came up on stage. Do you think for even half a second he would have said, regardless of their sympathies, if he had said, I'm treating you as just a human up here because, regardless of where, and also hello to all the Israelis in the crowd. There's just no way in hell that ever would have happened. No. The only reason this is happening is because the left has decided to single out Israel for its ire.
Now, the issue is that every single Jewish person in the world is tied to Israel. And if you're from Israel, you're now tied to the Israeli government. And this is being forced on us by the Trump regime as well. A bunch of Jewish people do not want to be tied to Israel as representing everything they believe in. So it is bad, it is wrong, but the right wing, the ultra-nationalist right-wing elements of America and Israel are pushing this mentality, wanting to fly the Israeli flag in America. If the Israeli state and Netanyahu does war crimes and the far-right factions of Israel do war crimes, that should not be representative of all Israelis or Jewish people. But the right wing kind of forced that notion, like, oh, well, if you're anti-Israel, you're anti-Jewish, which is not true.
And that means to dehumanize people such that it's an act of generosity to actually have to humanize people from Israel, which is totally, totally insane. But unfortunately, the way this is
how
going.
would you advise young women?
Yeah, like right there, he wasn't. That's the unfortunate part. He saw that person, and he had to respond to the country of Israel because it was made political, like from the boos as well. So it's a Coldplay concert, bro. Chill.
Like that, because I imagine it was pretty humiliating for them. Now they're on stage. They're with they paid money to go to this concert. They obviously love Coldplay. They must have been excited to be called up on stage. And then I'm sure their hearts sank as they realized what was happening, and they tried to hold their head high in the moment.
I mean, first bad decision is to go to a Coldplay concert ever because Coldplay sucks. But beyond that, I think that the second thing is that it must have been really, really difficult for them, especially given the fact that Israel is an extremely small country. That means undoubtedly they have family members who are in harm's way or who were in harm's way on October 7th. And what that means is that I'm sure the temptation in the moment might have been to say something like, I'm proud of where I'm from and I'm proud of what it is that my country is doing in defense of our citizenry. They probably didn't have the kind of wherewithal to say that.
They
just went to a music concert to have a good time. And again, there's a great irony to the fact that musicians, particularly, seem to have so much sympathy for a group represented by a government in Hamas, and a terrorist group in Hamas, that literally led this off by attacking a music festival in right outside the Gaza Strip.
Ben, thanks for being here. Good luck on the book.
Yes, the book is
Lions
called
and
It's Lions and Scavengers, The True Story of America. I read an excerpt yesterday. yesterday in the Free Press. I thought it was excellent, and I love the title.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ben.
Cringe all around. But yeah, that's unfortunate for sure. It's unfortunate that, you know, you could be an Israeli citizen against what's happening and you have no control over it. The same way if you're an American citizen during our invasion of the Middle East and occupation of Middle Eastern countries, if you go to another country and they blame you for that, that did happen. But you are the powerful country in that scenario doing bad things at the time, so you're going to be slandered or like, oh, actually, that's part of... It's difficult because you can say, one, it's anti-Semitic to tie Jewish people to the Israeli state, or it's intended because you want to say it's a state of Israel, it's a Jewish state, a free democratic state in the Middle East to protect Jewish people. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's different from just being American because the Jewish part is such a prominent point of it, but that's why I don't talk about it, because why would I ever talk about such a crazy, divisive topic, dude? Why? Why would I ever talk about it? I could just talk about NASCAR. Dictator, wow, that's some clickbait. You're right. I'm not gonna be on tonight for super long because I have I've had bad headaches all day. Like my head has been pounding. Oh wait, I saw this one too.
I mean, life
Shapiro
expectancy,
versus
if you make
Anna
a 65-year
Kasparian.
dude, is now 83. So the real question that I was asking is, when should the government pay you to retire? Which is a sort of a different question than when should you retire. When you should retire is sort of a personal question, and also it depends on your definition of retirement. I don't think that, you know, if your goal is to be 65 and sitting on a beach for the rest of your life doing nothing, that the social science tends to say that's not very good for you. You actually should be involved in your community and get involved.
But if you're wealthy, I know wealthy people, there's millions of wealthy people who move to a beach house for their final 30 years of life, and they do nothing at all. They have a bunch of money, they use their money, other people deliver their packages, they build their properties, they do everything for them for 30 years. These rich individuals should not receive Social Security. Are we ever going to actually do that? Probably not, but they don't need it whatsoever. It should be for the poorest among us, but the point of Social Security, it's popular because everybody gets it, largely. But yeah, they are drains on society. They are drains on society. I went to the beach and I was pissed off the whole time. I'm like, damn, you guys got 5 Ford 250, F-250 Super Duties for nothing at all? You're going to be here for 30 years doing no work because you owned in insurance companies? It's like, bro, and now other people got to do your labor for you, everything for you, including cleaning your house, and you're going to contribute nothing back to society?
And still have a side job and all the rest of that. But if we really believe that we can't raise the retirement age and we're never going to change that, we will go bankrupt. And all the talk...
No, you should not raise the retirement age. You should have it at a level... It should be lower. The age should be lower, but there should be cutoffs for how much money you make. Because the people who need an earlier retirement work with their hands and do backbreaking work and work on their knees, and they'll need to retire earlier with their bodies, and they deserve to. They'll do harder work their entire lives, and they're probably going to need government assistance, or not assistance, but Social Security to survive after working these working class jobs. But the people who don't work on their on their knees, who don't get their hands dirty, these rich insurance brokers and shit, like these people don't need to get Social Security. Lower the age for working class people, but just make sure if you're 70 years old and you have $5 million in the bank, you don't get Social Security.
About cutting at
and
the margins,
tax the rich more.
Whatever Doge is doing, that's not going to touch the real driver of the systemic debt in the United States. Women are living to 85 if you make it to 65. Men are living to 83 if you make it to 65. That's 20 years on public dime.
When you're talking about the government paying, you're talking about Social Security,
Yes.
which is people's money.
Well, it is not the money you paid in.
It's the system that they pay into.
Well, no,
you're calling.
Yes, but believe me, I pay a lot.
I know I pay into Social Security. I don't know about you.
I promise you, the amount that people are taking out is not the amount that is going in, which is why we are going bankrupt.
Okay, but it's not the government just handing out a blank check.
No, it's the government borrowing money to pay.
You can simply change the revenue stream and the way that we do Social Security and the cap on Social Security. You can change the program. We're not tied to a car that's about to fly off a cliff. We can change. We can move the wheel. We can turn the wheel before we go off the cliff. We can fix it. We can fix it. We can do different things.
Well, you pay in X dollars and then you get multiple times X dollars when you retire.
Yeah, I know. It's like the property tax argument too. It's like the housing argument. There's too many people who benefit from the current system. Like if you're a homeowner right now, if you're a rich old homeowner, you have no incentive to want to build affordable housing around you. Why would you want to invite these poors into your community, and all the extra housing supply is going to lower the value of your house? Why would homeowners, who are also people who come out to vote a lot and who donate to political campaigns, why would they ever support lower cost housing or to drive down costs in the housing market? Their evaluation on their house, they could take out less loans. They can't leverage their they can't remortgage. They can't do a bunch of this stuff if the housing value goes down. It's their wealth. Their wealth goes down if there's more housing built, and that's a bad incentive. It's a bad incentive system, but we're stuck where we are.
That is how the system works. It is not a lockbox. This is what Al Gore was arguing about in 2000.
The other part of this, though, is at 65, right? I mean, yeah, you might be in great health, but many people are working hard jobs. They're on their feet.
It depends on what job.
I'm not saying if you're working back-breaking labor and your leg is falling off that you should be.
I mean, by the way, I just totally reject what you just said about how we're going.
Well, Ben, if you raise the age, then someone who's working, back-breaking labor with their leg falling off, who's working a shitty job, like that person is not going to be able to retire. If you raise the age, then all the people who make a lot of money can still retire early and then get Social Security, but all the working class people are screwed at that point.
Bankrupt due to Social Security. Really, you don't think like the trillions of dollars we've spent on wars in the Middle East might have something to do with that?
It's not even
our
remotely
national
a percentage
debt.
of what we spend on Social
Our
Security.
national debt shot up significantly after 9/11, after we started invading countries in the Middle East.
That was more from, I mean, that spending did not help, but that was more from the Bush tax cuts, if anything. Because low-cost housing helps remove tent cities. No, but like that's the same argument for safe injection sites for people who don't care about like anyone who's a drug addict. Like if you don't care about them, if you're self-serving, a safe injection site gets people off the streets. There's less needles in the streets. There's more treatment. But safe injection sites are scary to people's brains, and it doesn't matter if it helps the community. I'm pretty sure like half of the states in America have it banned to do that. So like things can work, but if they don't react, it's the primitive brain. It's your primitive animal brain. Americans are too stuck in their self-serving bubble, and they're doing things that are self-harming, and they don't even know it.
You should look at a chart.
Now we're at 30.
In 2008,
we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Israel, on Ukraine. I mean, honestly, these foreign conflicts have a lot more to do with our national debt as opposed to us paying into.
Or funding public schools. Every Republican I know who's like a MAGA Republican wants to kill all public schools, but that's bad for everyone in every regard. And all the rich property owners want to get their property taxes cut by $50 and cut 50,000 teachers. And then they're going to complain. They're going to be all like, why is the crime rate so high? Yeah, because you cut all the schools and opportunity, dumbass. Holy shit, I hate these people.
Do you think Israel is a bigger portion of our budget than Social Security, Medicare,
I think we
Medicaid?
spend way too much money on military aid for foreign countries.
You think
Absolutely.
Israel is more
Do
than
you
Social
think
Security?
that Social Security is more of an issue compared to how much money we just shell out for conflicts abroad?
As a matter of
The truth of
expenditures
the
of
matter
math,
is that
yes.
both entitlements and defense are a big issue. I actually think Ben has a point here. I think that the nature.
Well, to be fair to her a little bit, Social Security, I mean, it depends where the aid is going, obviously. But the Social Security, it stimulates the economy. So you can say we spend money on it, but people get that money. They spend it on small businesses in their area. People have more disposable income. They have more active income. So Social Security is reinvesting money into the bottom of the American economy again. On a very distributive level, like it's very good distribution because everybody who's of age gets it. So like the money doesn't just leave. It depends what kind of aid you're talking about, though. If you're paying American manufacturers to make weapons and the money stays here in some regard, it can still get stuck in particular locations. But yeah, I don't know. It's a
of aging has changed. I think retirement is evolving. I mean, my husband is 71 years old.
yeah. Foreign aid is good, but she's not talking about foreign aid. She's talking about weapon supplies. I assume she's talking about that because foreign aid is really good for reducing total war. If you're anti-war, you should be pro. You should be pro-USAID if you're anti-war.
He's still writing books. I'm 55. I hope to work for another 15 years at least. But I do think it depends on the kind of job you do. And it starts to get into the devil's in the details here, because if I'm working with my hands and I'm 65, that's a problem. Maybe technology can help, et cetera. But there's got to be some understanding of what people are doing. There's got to be probably some means testing, which gets to this point about the growing wealth divide, because there really are two Americas here.
I guess so. It's a complicated conversation. Actually, no. I mean, Social Security, just increase the cap for taxing it. You're going to be fine. there's no reason to kill Social Security. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Okay, this person's calling me. I need to study Social Security funding. I haven't done that yet.
Hello.
Hello, what's up?
Oh, must have dialed the wrong number, man.
This is the politics show.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Is this the host?
Yeah, my voice sounds different on the Google Voice. It's really cheap, but you know.
Am I on the air now?
You're on the air. You're live. Yeah, you're live. Your voice is heard.
Oh, amazing. So, hey, so I just have a quick question for you. So I listen to a lot of different alternative, news programs. I don't really listen to any mainstream, whether it be Fox or CNN. How do you suppose that we get two different opinions or facts or whatever from each side? Because listen to, let's say, a show like yours, and you have a really strong opinion with a really good, you may have a really good argument or for what you're saying, and then on the other side, the same thing. Where do you think the disconnect is in there?
So, like on something basic like the 2020 election, people just believe things that are fake, and they don't care about actual proof for things. They'll just believe things they want to believe. So, the 2020 election is really a really easy one. Vaccines are another easy one. People just want to believe. It's more of an emotional state on the side that disagrees with me, because I have the science and facts and econ on my side. They just kind of like they like the way it feels to believe what they believe, and it's like a religion almost. They would have to change their fundamental worldview, and there's less checks on independent media to be correct about things. So Joe Rogan can just be like, well, I mean, Bernie Sanders is corrupt by Big Pharma because he's anti-RFK, and he gets no pushback at all, and there's no chance to even like have a conversation.
See, that's like, I mean, you have those arguments, and I'm not trying to debate it, but like the other side would have an equally, they'd make the same bullet points, that you just made. How do we get to that point there?
Well, no, here's the issue though. The 2020 election, I'll talk about the decentralized nature of our election systems and different voting precincts and the checks we have to make sure that ballots are counted correctly in America, the fraud rate. I'll talk about the court cases that Trump ran through and lost all of them. I'll talk about all these fundamental like facts about the process. They will say, but I saw a video on Twitter where they moved the box, so that means all the illegals made Joe Biden win by 100 billion votes. It's just not the same level of like, it sounds the same, but it's just not the same level of attention to detail or analysis whatsoever. Like theirs is purely emotional. They saw something on social media. And I'm going off facts, but the issue is if I go off facts, I can sound condescending, and they could focus on just being like convincing and chill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the other side, and I'm not talking about, let's say, the civilians like myself, but people like yourself, except on the other side, they basically, will have that same, the same argument for things, and they'll bring up the whole, the science thing and the blah 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 and all that too. I'm just wondering, like, how do we get two different opinions that are, especially like, and then if you do go to like, let's say what the news is, whether it be CNN or let's say CNN says this about a topic and Fox says the opposite about the same topic. Okay, well, there's one or two things, right? Either they are both wrong, or one of them's wrong, or they are both lying. There's no way of there's no other way to describe that. I mean, and I don't believe either one of them are true journalists, news outlets. I think they're both commentary. It's like one channel's, they're for the Raiders,
if you watch both, if you actually sit down and watch, if you watch CNN and Fox one day, you can never say ever they're even somewhat similar. Like I was at Planet Fitness and they were having a panel debating about the Epstein survivors talking. And they were having like a nuanced conversation at Planet Fitness, or I was watching Planet Fitness on CNN, and on Fox News they were selling like penis enlargement pills. They were talking about, look at all the illegals we got in this camp, yeah, and Joe Biden had a small dick, yeah, we have all the illegals, Daddy Trump has a big dong, woo, all the liberals love criminals. And on CNN it's like, how do we talk to Republicans in a sensible manner? It's not even, there's no, it's not comparable. I wish it was comparable. I wish there was a way for us to have real conversations, but it is mostly it's mostly going to be what people just like want to believe, and there's no social repercussion for being wrong about things. If Joe Rogan's wrong about, like, I don't know, ivermectin healing cancer, there's no penalty for it whatsoever. His audience just believes it and he makes more money. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though too, is like how crazy it is. Excuse me. Let me set this plate down. I kind of.
Wait. I'm sorry. There's someone in the chat. Wait, I gotta call you back, or?
No. You don't gotta call me back. You called me when I just got handed a plate of food, and
you're good.
And my bad.
Someone in the chat. I'll respond to someone in the chat really quick. Someone said Joel was just spreading misinformation about Trump dying. Are you a brain dead moron? Are you literally a paint swallower every second? A big D swallower? Like, you really... When I said Trump was dying because he looks old and frail and he looks weak and he has an IV bruise on his hand 24/7, do you think I was literally reporting that Trump was on his deathbed? Are you autistic? Like, do you not understand jokes or any type of nuance in a conversation? Do you seriously believe I was telling it as a factual basis Trump was dying? Or do you think I meant, oh, Trump looks really old and weak and pathetic? Because that's obviously what I meant. It was a big meme for a few days. They put out the Woody meme of Toy Story, where they pretend like Woody's awake and it's like, oh, look at me, I'm Trump, I'm Donald Trump, and I'm ready to golf. It was a meme, you dumbass. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So my point being is, saying, like, you know, what your opinion about Fox News, you're basically saying, you know, that they're lying and this and that, and that's as big of a conspiracy theory as someone saying, you know, CNN is lying. And I mean, how do we get to...
Not at all. The fact that people think it's similar is a product of the times. You know that Fox News paid the largest settlement in American history over their lies about the 2020 election, and all the discovery of the case found that they admit, Tucker Carlson, all the people at Fox News admit they were being actors, and they did not believe in anything they actually were saying on air, and they were purposely lying and deceiving their viewers because they thought their viewers were dumb. That's why Fox News paid almost $1 billion for their lies. Newsmax, another conservative outlet, paid $70 million in a settlement a few weeks ago. Like, there's court cases that prove they know they're intentionally lying, and they would never try CNN on the same thing with a defamation case or whatever, because they have nothing to stand on when it comes to actual factual reporting. But Fox News are known liars, and if you watch the commercials there, they are selling ADHD pills that are fake. They're selling fake heart disease pills on the commercials. That's why they're so anti-big pharma, because they want to make the profits from it with fake medicine. So like it's all a big scam on Fox News. It's all completely fake. I don't love CNN.
Okay.
I really don't like CNN, but Fox News is not anywhere near as credible as CNN. CNN is miles more credible than Fox News.
Well, let me maybe make another example. Maybe it's not as extreme as what you think of Fox. I don't watch either one of the two. Let me get that out there. But they were reporting on the left side of the news, because I think we both could agree that CNN is pro left and Fox is pro right. On the left, they were reporting that Joe Biden was fine, he was competent, when everyone else could see that he wasn't competent. They were calling it a stuttering problem. It's like, no, that's not a stuttering problem. And they were, for me, from my side of the table, he was looking like they were covering for him for whatever reason. I don't know.
Do you think they're covering for Trump right now?
Who, Fox?
Everyone.
I think that it is very possible that they are what you think of Trump or what I think of Biden is exactly the same thing. It's possible that it's going on.
It's not the same thing, though.
With
It's
Trump.
not the same. I can explain why it's not the same
Well,
if you want.
well, no. What I'm saying is, what you think of them covering up for Trump.
No, it's
and
not the
maybe
same.
they
Though.
are.
I can tell you how it's not the same. I can tell you how it's not the same.
Okay, tell me how it's not the same.
So, like, when Trump says things such as Putin respects America, after Putin puts bounties on American soldiers' heads, okay, when Trump says that tariffs are charged to other countries and not to America, that alone, saying tariffs are paid for by other countries somehow to the External Revenue Service, that's a load of bullshit. I've never heard Biden look so confused and say something incorrect. Now, you can say that they can look tired, or Biden looked tired and slow. But when he talked about trade policy, he knew what he was talking about. There's not one time where Biden was asked a question and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what that is." Trump he's always been kind of dumb, so it's hard to tell. But like Biden knew that tariffs are paid for by American companies, American consumers, so he used them in a very particular way. But Trump literally believes that other countries pay the tariff. That alone is what I would base it off of. Just Trump saying purely incorrect things. Trump thinking the 2020 election was stolen is pure insanity. Like, he's mentally insane. Joe Biden is old and weak and frail, and he should not have ran again. But he's never gone on tirades like Trump has about like Trump said he was meeting Putin in Russia. He called Alaska Russia like 15 times in the same conference. He misses key details of all these things that are like basic knowledge. And Biden stuttered. He was tired, but he still got he still knew what he was talking about, even if he was tired.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. With there strongly, I just don't see it like that. And I'm not going to say that that the same thing is going on as far as like the covering up. Yeah, maybe they are covering up for Trump. I don't know. I'm not that far into it, but I do know what I've seen, and I understand that I understand what I've seen. I can't deny what my own eyes and ears seen. And I've heard all the other arguments, against Trump. I mean, Trump could be, he could be playing. They could all be in cahoots for all I know, for all anybody knows, and he could just be playing the other side of the coin. I haven't really seen the evidence for that, but I understand that is indeed a possibility. So are they covering for him? Maybe they are. I do think one of the things I think people do is they toe the party lines, whether or not they're conservative. If they're conservative, they're going to toe the Republican line, or if they're Democrat, they're going to toe the Democrat line. And regardless of that's typically what most people do. And so they're always going to defend, and point out, let's say, the bad things about one and not the other. Because I could bring up some things about Biden that I didn't necessarily like, things that he had said and wanted to do, and I'm sure you would have an argument for why it was a good thing, And
I can make it really quick. Okay, I can make it really quick for why I would say I'd support Democrats over Republicans. So Democrats want to raise taxes on the ultra wealthy and enact laws that prevent monopolies from growing too big and too big to fail. In America, Biden did a lot of good stuff like that. Just the last week, Biden had a policy where if an airline canceled your flight, they would reimburse you. Trump canceled that policy. Biden did a lot of stuff on the way to hold corporations accountable. Trump is going the opposite direction. So on corporations and taxes and money, I'd much prefer Biden. Trump is cutting Medicaid from around 15 million Americans probably with his Medicaid cuts over the next 5 or 10 years. I know Democrats tried expanding Medicaid and tried cutting prescription drug prices and actually got it done. Trump cut cancer research in America by 60% and Alzheimer's research. Biden wanted to expand cancer research more than any president before him. So when I see these policy details and policy items, and I see right now America is entering another recession because of Trump's tariff policy, and Biden used tariffs effectively in the right way, on every metric that you can judge someone. You can say I don't like Dennis Rodman because of his attitude. He dresses funny. He dyes his hair. But you can't deny the rebound numbers if you know basketball at all. You just can't deny the stats of it. And people, the issue with politics is it's not a sport. It's not done by points on the board. It's not done by bills passed. It's done by convincing people that you're the better candidate. So Trump being a reality TV star can convince people of a lot of things that might not be true. But even look at the Epstein files right now. Trump is shitting his pants whenever they're brought up. He's obviously implicated somehow. I did not believe that before. He looked so scared talking about it. But even on that topic, he got his fan base to look away from it a lot. Hopefully he doesn't. But like for all those reasons, I'd probably, support Democrats.
Is there anything? Now, see, you mentioned something about Biden, and that I was unaware of, and that I would agree with. Like getting a refund on airline tickets when you're canceled. That should be that's a no-brainer. I agree with that. That is good.
Yeah, but he was too old to talk about it. He was too old to brag about it. Like if Trump did anything good at all, he would brag about it. But yeah, Biden couldn't.
My point, or my question I was going to ask you: is there anything that Trump did that you would say that you like?
He's banning the penny, or he wants to ban the penny. There's his crown achievement.
Okay, all right. Well, I would say it's probably still a party line issue, but it sounds like we're still in the same boat of I don't think I still think it's weird how we have two different sides of the coin. Let's say, and you being one side of the coin, right? You're one side of the coin. I'm sure you know that. Well, I'm going to guess that you're doing your due diligence. Like I'm going to guess the other side of the people like yourself, because you're not the only one out, and you know this. You're not the only influence out there that is out there. Let's say a champion of the left, and there's many of them. As you know, there's many who are champions of the right, and why? How come even you guys, can't get the same story? Because I tell you, if I was to be listening to another channel, they would have an equally as influential argument as like you articulated on everything, and it just kind of blows my mind how we have these. You sound like this is the first time I've ever seen your show. Seen it. You sound like an intelligent person. I don't. Not second guessing that you're not an intelligent person, but you have a completely different opinion than other intelligent people with the opposite opinion. And I know you're not dumb, and I know they're not dumb. And to just say that there is one or two things, like how they're either you're completely wrong or they're completely wrong, or one of the two sides is completely lying and the other one's right. Because you can't. It just seems so weird that it is just So,
yeah, so like the 2020 election, that's one position where they are 100% wrong. There's no truth at all to what they say about the 2020 election. I am 100% right compared to them.
Now, see, when the 2020 election, I've heard the arguments on both sides of that coin. Like you brought up the one thing about the ballots, and it's always the same argument that I hear from the left, and it's a different argument from the right. And let me give you an example. Like when it comes to I forget where it was. They pulled out the ballots under the table. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's always the same argument. They proved it. Those boxes were there the whole time. Those boxes were there the whole time. They were been there. And that's not the argument that the right is making. The right is making, or the people that are claiming election fraud, is they're saying, hey, they said there was a water main break. They stopped the counting. They got all the poll watchers out of the building, and then they went into pulling those ballots out and running them through. That's the argument. Not that the ballots were there the whole the whole time. And that's it. Let's just say if they're telling the truth, right?
But that's not an argument, though. That's not an argument. Like an argument should be, we have proof of something. And let's say their conspiracy about that's 100% true. Let's say they have one video of one time where there's a huge thing happening at a voting precinct with 1,000 votes in it. Okay, even if that was true, the one piece of evidence the one piece of like fake evidence they have, let's say it's true, that would have done nothing at all to change the 2020 election. You know, that'd be one state. Even if they flip that, you know, let alone flip that one state, they'd have to flip like 3 states because Biden blew out Donald Trump. They still say the 2020 election was stolen. And in every courtroom, they have no evidence. On Joe Rogan, Trump had no evidence. Everywhere, they have no evidence other than, look at this one video we found on Twitter. And if you think that argument is just as convincing, like you can make arguments for both sides. You're right. I can make an argument for, I know people who make arguments for how they drive better drunk. Do they? No.
Right.
They're making excuses for why they want to be drunk and drive, obviously. But like, they could sound convincing, they could be confident, but that's kind of how it is with this. It's like you can be confident with it, but I'll come up like, hey, buddy, like it might not be good to drive drunk. It's like, hey, you're no fun. That's how I feel when I talk about like, hey, no, like look at the actual ballot counts, look at the court cases. No one wants to do that, so we just talk about the the videos and stuff.
Okay, let's talk about like what I've heard, and please forgive me, I'm kind of a layman and on all this stuff. But like you brought up like the court cases. So what I'm hearing from the right is that they weren't thrown out. They didn't look at the evidence and the evidence was thrown out. It was more of the courts going, hey, this is out of our jurisdiction, but it's being played like it's been thrown out of court. It's been thrown out of court. So it's kind of like going to the park ranger and saying, hey, my car got broken into in front of my house. That's not his jurisdiction, kind of deal. You got to get that. You got to get that out of here.
Why did they not release this information publicly if they had evidence?
Well, why didn't would you? I don't know. Wait. Repeat the question. And I may not know the answer, but I probably don't.
Like Trump's own vice president, like Trump had his mob chant "Kill Mike Pence" or "Hang Mike Pence." Like, and Mike Pence, he could have maintained power. He could have stayed as vice president, but he knew the election was not stolen, and all the courts agreed. Now, in these cases, there's a bunch of times that the Trump admin dismissed their cases because they had nothing. They didn't want to go forward with the case because they had no submittable evidence. There was nothing, to an issue with jurisdiction. There were court cases all over the place. There were challenges all over the place. Trump just failed them. They had recounts. I think they had recounts in Pennsylvania up until like 2 years after the damn election. They spent taxpayer dollars on recounting the election like 25 times for their daddy Trump. So yeah, it's just sad that Trump is still talking like Trump is directing his FBI to attack his former administration officials who said the election in 2020 was not stolen. I think that should probably tell people, and he can present no evidence on how it was stolen. I think that just sounds like an authoritarian who wanted to maintain power.
But you can make the same argument that Trump's residence was raided by the FBI over records, and from what I hear on the one side, I know I've heard both stories on both sides.
Okay.
That Trump had records that he should not have, and his home was raided by the FBI with the authority to use deadly force if needed when they raided Mar-a-Lago.
But like they were for over a year, they were trying to get these documents. The Trump admin gave them the middle finger. So they tried through multiple means. Through, I think it was like how many months was it? It was definitely over a year. They were asking for documentation, and after the Trump admin lied over and over and over again, they finally did a raid with a court-approved warrant, and they found the information that Trump was actually hiding that he lied about. So he had a year to give over the documents, but that's why Biden did not get raided. That's why Mike Pence did not get raided, because the moment they were contacted, they handed over the information right away. There was no issue, but Trump kept hiding it, and Trump was revealing it to his donors.
Well, that is the story, right? I mean, that's the story we hear. But Biden.
No, that's the facts. I just said the
Hold
facts,
on.
though. I just said facts, though.
No,
That's
okay,
not a story.
Here's the facts. I'm sure you would agree with the facts. With these facts, also, is that Biden had records in his garage, and when he was not authorized, he obtained them when he didn't have authorization to have them. He had them not only in his garage.
No, I just said, though, he handed it over right when he was contacted. When it was contacted, he said, "Oh shit, these are not classified." Yeah, but he handed them over right away.
But he had them, and they did not press charges because
he collaborated right away.
Word. No, because he was a feeble old man. I don't know; those aren't the exact words, but that was the sentiment.
Wait,
of
okay.
it. And that's what happened.
Do you see why it's an issue if Trump said no for over a year when he illegally had these items, and when Biden gave them right away and Pence gave them right away? Like, do you see why Trump got raided and it was justified?
I'll say this. This is where one side of the story says this and one side of the coin says that. Trump, from what I am hearing, had complete authorization to have in his possession what he had in his possession. That's what I'm hearing. Now, if that's a lie,
his argument is he could just declassify stuff for fun. Like he could just say in his brain that it's declassified, but that's not the actual argument there. Then you would have no case for Biden either. Like you would have no case for any of this. But the thing is, again, the truth of the facts, what is legal in America, okay? When Biden and Pence were contacted, they said, "Oh, we have these documents. Whoops, here, you can have them back. There's no malice here. We're not trying to hide secrets, or we're not telling anybody." Meanwhile, Trump lied for over a year. He told Australian donors about like our secret classified information and like military technology. He was just like saying like, "Oh, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm gonna," for over a year. And you can say like, "Oh, well," in his brain, his argument is it's actually not illegal. Like, "Oh, you can do you could shit on the sidewalk and say that you're a dog." Like you can do that, but it's still not gonna like Trump can identify himself as not classified, but the truth is that Trump did something illegal. That raid was justified. It was justified. Like
if it was. Well, let me ask you this. If it was illegal, then why would they not arrest him and run through the process and blah blah blah? All the other things. Why would if they had that kind of evidence on him? Because it's very obvious. I mean, I think we both agree that they did not want him running. As a matter of fact, Biden's on record for saying that he was going to do everything in his, and I'll say it like he said, maybe not verbatim, but in his legal power to keep him out of office. To keep him out of office, to prevent him outside of winning an election. So,
it wasn't. That's the thing, though. It wasn't a political attack. If it was a political attack, he'd be in jail. Probably. He should still be in jail, in my opinion. But he went through the process. He surrendered himself to the court. They found an arrangement. If you're a very rich and powerful person or a former president, you're going to get your way out of things. The same reason he doesn't go to jail for any felonies or anything at all, or like it doesn't matter for him. He has money, he has power. Sure. He can find the arrangements for these. I don't have all the facts about how the legal arrangements went. All I know is that the facts of Trump was revealing classified information and lying about it. And when people say it was lawfare, it was not lawfare. I don't know how people say there's a big deep state going after Trump. They play the victim card. Somehow there's a big deep state going after Trump. But in the 2020 election, Trump was president, Trump was in office, and somehow the Democrats stole the election. But then Biden's in office in 2024, and they are unable to steal the election. And also, it's lawfare, but Trump was never in a jail cell. How's the deep state so powerful, and Trump is not in a jail cell? Like,
it's a lot harder for a kid to sneak out the window in the middle of the night if his parents are going, "Hey, we know you snuck out the window the other night. You better not do it. Don't let me catch you doing it again." But anyways, at the end of the day, we're still in the same boat. You're hearing one side of the thing, and it's gospel, and The other side.
No. Okay, one more time. Because I don't want you thinking that you're right about that.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying factual. I'm saying factual recounts of laws and about ballot counting and about law and about legal cases where Trump failed in court. You are saying the opposing story, where they make up stories and fiction to justify their illegal actions. You believe they're fiction. Of course, there's two sides to it, but one side is correct in some of these situations. It's not like a debate on what should the gun law be. It's a debate on just fact. It's like disagreeing that 2 + 2 = 4. Like, some of these are not just two sides issues.
Hold on a second, because I don't think that's the case, and I don't think I don't want you to think that what I'm not hearing, they're not reporting as facts. But it's possible that. So what you're saying is, at the end of the day, they're lying. That other side, those other influencers who are doing the same due diligence as what you're doing, is lying. They're lying.
Over the 2020 election,
or they're completely incompetent, and they're wrong.
On the 2020 eletion, 100%.
Not everything. Not everything factual, or I'm going to say factual. Not everything reported to be factual is necessarily factual. Like
I work in this field. I understand how the election laws work. If you believe the 2020 election was stolen, you have no information at all. You're a brain dead moron who eats paint, or you are a liar. There's only 3 options, okay? And I think that most people they just don't have the information they're lied to. They listen to Joe Rogan and they believe it.
I'm just saying that's what the other side is saying too. That's exactly what the other side is saying.
They don't have the facts, though. Yeah, they lie. They are lying. Yes, they are lying.
They're saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing right there.
Okay, again. Wait again. Hey, I can point.
You gotta go.
I can point towards Trump court cases in Pennsylvania, saying there's ballot harvesting and ballots should be thrown out, that he failed at and presented no evidence. They could not point to a court case or even any evidence at all, except a random Twitter video.
Yeah, I get it. They're saying the same thing.
I'm sorry. That's not the same thing.
You got all the time in the world.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing, right? That's not the same thing.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying too. You're not. See, what I think what the problem is
no. The problem is you don't know how to. You don't know how to do facts. You just don't like facts. You like stories.
No. See, I'm not going to insult you like that. I'm not insulting
you. You are genuinely.
What I'm telling you is what you're saying. You're telling me, hey, these are the facts, and it's gospel. And what I'm saying to the other side. You can Google these
court cases yourself. You can look it up yourself.
Bro,
you can look up.
You're not hearing me. You want so hard, so much to be right that you're not considering.
No, I don't want my country to fall apart because people can't do math or read things.
No, it's not that. What you're saying is you got the facts. And what I'm telling you is they're also saying the same thing. Let's back up a little bit. God, I don't want to go down this road actually, because then it just gets too. It'll
for example, in the plumbing video, when they're moving boxes.
Plumbing. Okay, go ahead.
There's videos later in the day with the pipe bursting where they come back and start counting again. You can track the ballots in the videos even, but they only share one. Or there's there's a video from Philadelphia, I think, where the poll watchers the election workers are putting posters up on the window because there's a mob outside trying to break into the election to the voting precinct where they're counting ballots. And they already had Republican and Democrat lawyers inside the room, but they said it was evidence of them hiding the ballot count. But they just wanted to make sure that the mob didn't break in or try to surveil information they shouldn't be surveilling. It's just if you're
pizza boxes aren't going to stop a mob from breaking a window, though, right? I mean, that's not going to stop a mob from breaking in a window. But go ahead.
If you're trying to protect poll workers from an angry mob outside, then at the time, you could do a couple different things, and it's probably just instinct at that point. But when this stuff is litigated with facts, and this is why Trump won, obviously, because he can just say I don't know, he could just make something up and people put it in the same boundary or in the same category as a court case. But I feel like at some point we have to go back and think about like, okay, we have two claims. Which claim has better evidence, and why would I believe one over the other? Because you could say they are saying the same thing, but then at that point you're just admitting you have zero way to understand like facts of the case. You just like, unless if you're just, I don't know, you're just saying people disagree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that I think you know, where we are subjects of what we hear. You know what I mean? If you listen to Fox News, you know, 24/7, then you're gonna believe that. That's news. If you listen to CNN, then you're gonna believe it. That's news.
Yeah, but if you're an intelligent person, you're probably not gonna watch Fox News 24/7. To be honest.
Okay, well let me ask. I got one more question for you, and it's been great talking to you and to your listeners out there. What do you think happened on this last election? Because obviously, I mean, I'm going to say obviously, maybe it's not obvious. Trump won the election, and he won the majority, the popular vote. Do you think that the majority of Americans got it wrong? Is that just honestly what you think? Because that's possible, because the majority is not always right.
He won a higher percent than Kamala, but the majority voted against him if you include like third parties. But we can include like him versus Kamala. He beat Kamala with a popular vote, but he did lose the majority. With like Jill, wait,
no, but you could say those third parties.
Stein,
you could say those third parties was against.
No,
you
but
could say
a
those
majority
third party
of voters
votes
went against
was
Trump.
a vote
Right?
against Kamala too, though, right?
Sure, but I'm just saying that a majority of Americans did not want Trump. A majority did not. At least a majority of voters. Now I would say
Is it
like
not
yeah,
a
you
fact
can.
that he won the popular vote?
Yeah, he
Is
won
it
the
not
popular
a fact
vote.
that he won the?
He won the popular vote versus.
Factually,
He won
factually.
No, okay, listen again. Okay, he won the popular vote versus Kamala. He won the popular vote versus Kamala, but he won less than 50% of the total popular vote. And then you could say third parties don't count, whatever, I agree. But I'm just saying, a majority of voters did not vote for Trump. And it's one of the smallest popular vote wins in American history. Now that being said, people can get things wrong. I think Kamala is not a good candidate, but like people don't vote off of policies. They vote off of mostly vibes, and Trump can poison his opponents and make them look terrible no matter what. They thought like one big thing that I noticed was many Trump voters thought he was better for taxing the wealthy, and he was better for protecting Medicaid and Social Security. And in his first administration, he did the opposite of what they wanted him to do. Like, people don't know that he tried cutting Medicaid because Democrats stopped him in the first term. So now that he did it, now he's in office, he's a lot less popular. But now he's in office already. His approval rating is at an extremely low point. It has been for most of the presidency. But yeah, he's really good at his strategy is painting the other candidate as extremely negative. Like, they ran almost no positive ads about Donald Trump at all. It was just about poisoning the Democrats, and Kamala had no charisma to fire back. And if people vote off vibes and your candidate has bad vibes, then policy's never gonna make up for that. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, I disagree with that, but I guess that's what we're here for, huh? But all right, well,
you're the perfect example of a guy that votes off more like emotional stuff, though. So
Well, I think this was a good example of a conversation. I think your audience need to hear it, and hopefully they do their due diligence, and maybe I've sparked them to do a little fact checking on the other side, or both sides, and they take it from there, I guess. So that being said, young man, I don't know your name, but you have yourself a wonderful evening, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this conversation.
All right, have a good night, man.
Later.
There's little to no way to combat that level of pure narcissism. Like, like being proud of not knowing shit and then saying like, well, you're both saying the same thing. I mean, that guy said that you shouldn't be driving drunk and going 90 on the freeway. And that guy said, well, maybe you should wear a seatbelt, drive sober, and go 45. But like they're both making arguments. They're both saying the same thing because they're both saying each other's wrong, dude. Like bro, they're saying the same thing. I mean, they're both wrong. They're both wrong. They're both wrong, dude. That's like the most brain dead shit ever. America is screwed, by the way. We're gonna keep trying, but it's not looking good. The fact that 50% of Americans are pro-vaccine, though. We are in what you call a great unraveling period of society, where like you have things get too good and people forget what it took to make things good. So things begin to unravel because they get sick of maintaining the system. So vaccines are a good example. Like back when polio was a thing and we had vaccines, I think 95% of people wanted to mandate vaccines, 95%. But now that we're so far removed and we have the effects of vaccines benefiting us, now people are like, we don't even need vaccines, guys. We don't even need vaccines. Why did we ever use them in the first place? I mean, why do we cook our chicken? Why do we cook chicken? Why do we even like pasteurize our milk? Like, dude, nothing bad ever happens if you don't pasteurize your milk. I mean, raw milk is so healthy for you. Like, nothing bad ever happens. I've never seen bad things happen. Great. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate you watching. Please donate to Joel Politics, my channel name on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. If you want to guarantee a phone call, you could donate $10 to Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. $10 with your first name and your phone number. So I know which phone you're going to be. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please, like I said, support the stream. Become a patron, Joel Politics on Patreon. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you for $5 on Venmo. Sri is always there. Thank you, Sri. Okay. They're both saying the same
Hello.
thing.
Please state your name after
You again. The voicemail.
Hello.
Hi, this is the politics thing on YouTube.
Hey, how you doing? I was well, actually, I'm on. Hold on, let me see. Do I hear you? Do you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Everyone hears you.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I was over in D.C. here earlier the week or whatever, and I was thinking back where this administration said that they wanted to save so much money and all this stuff there, but it's painfully obvious the amount of money that they're wasting. But anyway, I was over and I saw how the military has been reduced to lawn service or lawn care, and I'm not going to even insult the right, because I don't agree with everything on the Democratic side either. But I mean, there has got to be some type of, I don't know, it's like a disconnect or something. I don't know. It's almost like it's past the cult thing. It's got to be something. But it's got to be something wrong when you can sit there and you're okay with cutting health care to nearly 14 million people or more, and then you're smearing in their face by building a $200 million ballroom.
Well, they say it's for the illegals. They're cutting it from the illegals, right? So.
Yes, and by the way, nobody even thinks about building that amount, putting that amount into any type of real estate if they don't plan on staying there. These people talk about they're such patriots and all of this stuff. This man has literally no concern for the Constitution or law whatsoever. He cannot run a third time. Yet you have some of these mental health senators, that's trying, that wants to pass a bill or whatever they want or whatever tricks they want to do, for him to run a third time. This is really sick. You even have this, I can't even understand this vocally challenged individual that's over our health care. no experience. You come in the door talking about DEI. Your administration is the exact definition, according to your standards. So there's got to be some type of illness with these people that, that has somehow believes that this man cares for them. And he's the biggest grifter in the world. You're selling shoes, vodka, whatever he's selling, whatever. And half of that is made over in China, by the way. And I don't know, it's some kind of illness, and I don't know what that's my question. That would be my, because it has nothing to do with his policies, because that's trash. He's the most unpopular president in the history, so it has nothing to do with any of that stuff. So I really would like to know, what is this mental connection to this criminal? I don't understand. I have no, like he said day one, I'm going to release the JFK, the MLK, really against the family's wishes because they didn't want that, but he released it anyway. And he said, I'm going to release the Epstein files. Day one, you're going to see this big transformation, and you're not going to pay this much. I'm going to stop the war. Day one will never come, because this is a compulsive liar. This guy lies for fun, for a hobby. This is his lifestyle, a liar. So I'm trying to figure out what makes people connect to a 34 convicted felon, a rapist, a convicted rapist. And in my opinion, in the Epstein files, I wonder what makes people connect to someone like that. That's just my question.
It's called identity politics. It's their identity. They see it in him. All right, I appreciate that. I'll make sure. I think you're making a lot of the commenters mad. So if you keep listening, you're gonna hear some angry callers.
I meant to ruffle their feathers. Tell them to go buy his Trump shoes and kick their own self in the ass for being crazy. And thank you all. Good night.
All right, have a good night. Thank you. He was here to yap. He was yapping. He was here to yap. All right, look at these shots, though. Look at these. Bang. 1. Look how deep that is, dude. Wow. 2. 2. 3. Easy shot. Defense has no chance. The defense not even there. The defense 5. 5. Look at this. 6. Get ready for 7. 7. Oh, 7. 7 in a row. Dude, I'm going crazy. 8 in a row. 9 in a row.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm really thankful you answered. Thank you so much. And, I kind of just want to learn more about your opinion. And, I read the title. It says Dictator Trump. I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on that.
I think Trump's he loves Putin. I think he wants to be Putin. He respects him a lot. He respects like Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping very much. He's praised dictators his entire time in public life. And also his really big desire to use the military everywhere in America if he doesn't like someone is kind of scary. And he has shown an ability to deny elections like a dictator type would usually do, trying to overturn the 2020 election. I don't think the signs are very good with him.
Yeah, I think those are really good points. I want to go by them one by one if you'll allow me, because I just want to really understand what you mean by that. The first thing you said was he supports dictators and sympathizes with Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. If you could elaborate more on that for me.
He said before that he wishes his people had to stand and applaud just like they need to do for those dictators. If you look at the cabinet meetings right now with Trump, every single person says, Mr. Trump, you are saving America. You are saving America. You are the best president in American history. It's my greatest honor to serve you, a revolutionary man revolutionizing transit. If you're, Department of Transportation, revolutionizing healthcare. You are so amazing, Mr. President. You definitely do not have a small penis. Like they do that over and over again. If you watch the cabinet meetings, it's some dictator shit. They just need to be in good favor with the king to get a benefit. And the last thing I'll say is his affinity towards supporting Russia and spitting in Ukraine's face. Russia can bomb American companies, and Trump calls Putin attractive in response and invites him to the World Cup in America as a reward. It's really a pathetic representation of America, in my opinion.
I think that's a really based opinion. Like I understand where you're coming from. There was a lot of points there, and I was hoping I could go through maybe just the first one. You said, they have to get in good with the king, and maybe we could talk about the definition of dictatorship and how it applies there, because I think that'd be really interesting. But the first thing I want to ask about is because I heard a lot of things about what other people think. They want to get in good with the king. I want to hear what you think about President Trump. What is it that has made him a dictator? And I'm not being adversarial. I really just want to hear your opinion. What is it that's made him a dictator and sympathizing with Russia? Why is it that he could be doing that?
He is really like when Kamala Harris said that he is easily persuaded by flattery, being flattered. That was his intel report. That is his report in engaging with foreign leaders. That's how they approach him. That's why even when the EU leaders come, they have to give him a gift when they come. Tim Cook gave him a gift, a gold-plated piece of glass or whatever. The FIFA World Cup gave him a gold cup trophy as a gift. You need to take Trump a gift. Whoever goes to the Oval Office, I guarantee you, they're gonna have a gift. Okay, South Park talked about this. So yeah, it's all flattery. Trump likes how Putin looks strong. He likes the aesthetic of Russia. That's why Trump wants a military parade all the time. He loves military parades because Putin does it and Kim Jong-un do it. It's really the insecure man's vision of what they think a strong country looks like. In reality, the strongest countries in human history never needed to display their military might. You only do that if you're insecure and you need to project military strength because you don't actually have it. So yeah, I think he's just a really easily flattered narcissist, probably.
I was watching Forbes. It was essentially a rally he was having, and he talked about how maintaining relationships with leaders of other countries is really important if you want to just be able to communicate. I think you were just talking to another guy about how America's shifting and it looks like chaos, and I wonder if lack of communication is a problem. I wonder if there's certain things that you would have to say to certain leaders. Maybe it's a good thing to be able to talk to other leaders to understand what they're saying, and really an adversarial perspective might just be dangerous. When it comes to policy, it's like, this is what we're going to do. Will you agree with this? But when it comes to, your personal opinion on people, do you like them? I don't know if it matters so much. What is Trump doing that appeases or even helps Russia? Because you say he sympathizes with them. I'm not denying that.
He called Zelensky a dictator. They spit in Zelensky's face in the Oval Office multiple times. I mean, Trump said the EU was formed to be anti-America. He said Canada is a threat to America with fentanyl, and we should be invading Canada and Greenland. So our allies and democratic countries, he's very prone to being anti them and mean to them. But if he talks about an authoritarian state, he's very nice to them. So I mean,
is Donald Trump making any actions to invade Canada? I'm not sure.
Well, when you start trade wars with countries, you are killing small businesses. You're taking away people's livelihoods for no reason. Especially when you have an ally with Canada. Canada cannot stand America anymore. I mean, it's not an act of bombing a country, but it's a trade war. It's an act of aggression towards your ally. It's a really big deal when you lose your livelihood, your economy shrinks, and you enact economic, you have to imagine, for no reason, Trump just decides to try to crash Canada into a borderline recession because of his tariffs and everything. After he negotiated a trade deal with them his first term, and he says, my trade deal I made with them is dog shit now. He's like, who made this stupid trade deal? I mean, he made it. The renegotiated NAFTA, the USMCA. But yeah, I mean, and Greenland, we've planted propaganda agents in Greenland to try and shift people to be pro-American, to try and eventually annex Greenland. What's that?
Tell me about that. I'm really interested in that.
So Russia does this with countries around them. They did this with zones of Ukraine and Georgia. They'll pretty much like put propagandists and maybe like intelligence personnel into other states to manufacture some type of consent to be more in favor of like becoming part of another country or another political aim. So like JD Vance has taken multiple trips to Greenland, like propaganda tours. I don't think they've been very successful, but there are actual attempts, and the Pentagon is making plans to try and like what would happen if we invaded Greenland, if we bombed cartels in Mexico without Mexico's consent and violated their sovereignty, or if we invaded Canada. Like we are drafting these plans as well, and the fact that our allies need to be on high alert in case if America decides to do some weird shit is really bad.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You also, and I appreciate you for elaborating. You know, I really appreciate you talking to me, and I think you have a really interesting view on things, and I really appreciate it. You said one more thing with the last prompt I asked you. You said that these tariffs on these countries are affecting small businesses in America. Can you tell me how that happens?
I believe the number is like 95% of small businesses in America use some type of imported good, and that's actually a good thing. If we never had trade deals, America's economy would be much smaller, would be much poorer as a country, and our economy is intertwined with other countries globally. And there's an argument for tariffs if you want to maintain some industries in America, if you do actual stimulus for certain industries, like if you think it's for national defense. But us spitting in the face of our allies and tariffing them, that is really a tax on importers in America. There's some goods like coffee, for example. We're tariffing coffee. There is zero ability to make coffee in America. Hawaii produces a couple million pounds of coffee. That only covers like 0.001% of American coffee. We cannot expand our coffee production. So that's just a basic tax and a tariff. And if you tariff small businesses, and the products they receive, they're paying a pretty huge tax on the goods they need to make their products. Even if they make a different product, they have input costs and input goods. So if you make what's a good example? You make what's something you build? What's a nice little gadget? Nice little gadget that you build. A what?
A pencil, sure.
A pencil? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, is it a pencil? I mean, you have graphite from Brazil and aluminum from a few other countries.
Yeah, aluminum is a big one that we're tariffing too. Like, aluminum is used very often.
Yeah,
obviously, copper. We're shutting down green energy production. Like, it's just like all around the board, we're crippling our economy.
The way you describe it, these tariffs are incredibly damaging and not helpful, but you also said there is a way that this could be done. Can you describe to me the plan that President Trump has made, why he's doing it, and how he plans to help the country? And then can you explain to me why?
Well, there is no plan. He does it based off emotions and based off corruption. So he's done it already to force countries like Vietnam to have more Trump properties, which is a huge corruption issue, but MAGA doesn't care about corruption. And this will be the final one I answer for tonight because I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah,
thank you for your time.
The correct I appreciate the call. The correct way to do it would be like how Biden did it with the Chips and Science Act, where you do minor tariffs on certain industries you want to encourage. Because the point of a tariff is you say to Americans, if you buy this good from this country, you're going to be penalized. You have to pay more for it. So it encourages them to buy more American products, if possible. So Biden did minor tariffs, and on the other end, he did subsidies for companies in America for key industries, and he did tax credits. So he had the carrot and the stick. So he had the tariffs to make foreign goods cost more, and he had stimulus in America and subsidies to help American companies grow their capacity. That's a real industrial policy. Biden gave us the biggest manufacturing boom in American history since the New Deal, I'm pretty sure. No one really cared because... yeah, it's I don't know what people expect, but no one cares that Biden did that. And all Trump does, he's loud about it. He does dumb things, but he takes credit for everything. He's loud about it. He's gonna seem like he's doing more because he says he's doing more. And not everyone's a policy expert, and I don't blame him. Politics and policy sucks, but
Hey, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And I really like the platform. I love talking politics, and I appreciate you educating me on a lot of topics. Thank you.
I appreciate the call. Hope you have a great night. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, you too.
All right, have a good one. See you. Nice. Okay, guys. I told you when I started today I've had extremely bad pain in my neck. So I gotta go to bed. Yesterday, like, my regular work is wrapping up right now, and I did Amazon, and then I streamed for 4 hours by accident last night. I think that kind of messed my body up. So I gotta go get some rest. Thank you so much for $5 taking notes. Could you write a dissertation about why Trump is a POS? I guess. I don't like writing, though. I wrote a master's thesis. You know what's kind of crazy? I'm stupid for. I thought for some reason that once you get an undergraduate, you got to get a master's and then a doctorate. And I know people do that very often, but I thought you needed to. So I went for a master's, and I'm like, wait a second. You can just go for a doctorate after your undergraduate? I just didn't know that. I just didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you for $5 again, taking notes. I do. I'm like, why did I get a master's? It's not going to help me get a job. I got a good pat on the back. Good job taking on that debt. You really did a good job, man. We all dumb, for real. Join Discord, guys. Join Discord. You get my notifications for when I go live on Discord, and you can talk to our group in there. I will fix the Discord too. I need to fix that. I know. I need to fix the staff room. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I was in pain all day today. It's one of those like neck pains where if like you ever sleep wrong, and if you like turn your neck to an exact point, it like pinches a nerve, and your entire head just like hurts, like sharp, like really bad pain. But you just slept wrong, and now one muscle is just like pinching a nerve in your neck. Do you know what I mean by that kind of pain? Plus your like whole body's like falling apart too. I think I went for a run. I went running yesterday too. So yeah, yeah. You can call tomorrow. You could raid Tom. He's subothoning. Pinched nerve. You get that all the time. Yeah, that shit's not good. Bro, it was like... It's one of the worst I've ever had. And my TV broke. So I had an extra TV that has a crack in it. So I put that TV up. But it's a dumbass Amazon Fire TV. And I got a remote from Amazon. See, this is what you get when you have a parasocial relationship. You get to hear about my day. I got a remote from Amazon, like a fake replacement one for $5, and I thought it was going to work, and it does work. It flips through the channels, but there's one point when you set up the TV where you have to like hit the home button and pair your account to it. And with the aftermarket remote, you can't get through that one screen. So now I have this dumbass Amazon Fire TV in my living room because I broke my other one because I'm a dumbass, because I dropped it, because I bumped into it, because I'm stupid as shit. I have this TV I can't even use because I need an actual Amazon Fire remote. It's so stupid. I got this TV because someone didn't want it, so I just took it because I'm a hoarder. Because I was poor. So I'm a hoarder. I need to hoard things now to be safe. If I don't hoard, I'm not safe. It's really crazy, ain't it? That shit's annoying, bro. Yeah, there's an app for the remote, Vandred, but that's another layer to this, is that the damn TV is not hooked up to the Wi-Fi. And if I want to hook it up to the Wi-Fi, I need a remote. I gotta get past this one software screen. This one damn screen. There's one screen on this, dude. I gotta get through. There's one screen. So if I turn the TV on... If I turn the TV on with this remote, okay? This is like the aftermarket remote. So I can turn it on. Alright, it'll turn on. Alright, it's turning on right now. And it'll move stuff. I could go back. Alright, I could go through. And I could pick like languages and stuff on it, okay? The volume goes up and down. The controller or the remote works perfectly. But I go to this dumbass screen and it says searching for your remote. And I hit the home button, and because of a dumbass, and this is why AI is not going to take over, all right? Because of a dumbass software design. Now this TV is just bricked. It's just not working because this remote's not a real Amazon Fire remote, and I can't hook it up to the app. I tried using there's no Ethernet port in the back either, and I only have a adapter for Ethernet for USB Type C. So I used an adapter from USB Type. Is it A to C? Wait a second. I think it's Type A, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to spread disinformation. Yeah, USB from Type A to C. Then I plugged in the adapter with my Ethernet. I've been streaming with Wi-Fi this whole time. Have I lagged at all? Has my stream been solid? I just realized I'm on Wi-Fi because I took my Ethernet cable and used it for that, and it didn't even work. The Fire plugs into the USB. No, the TV is a Fire TV. No, the TV is a Fire TV. So it's the Fire software on the TV itself. So like if I can't get past the screen, I can't use the TV. I can't even switch the input without getting past the screen. I don't know where the actual remote is. Well, USB Type A 3.0, right? That carries media. What do you think USB Type A is? The 3.0 is a 3.0 cable. It depends which one. The 1.0 doesn't, I don't think, but the 2.0 and 3.0 do. I think. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. Hotspot your phone to your TV. No, but the TV, I can't hook it up to anything. I can't hook it up to anything at all. I just can't. There's no way to hook my TV up to anything. Unless is there... Someone's internet name nearby is Fortnite and Chill, bro. It's Fortnite and Chill with a question mark. That's a crazy name. Pisses me off. Have you tried the remote? I'm gonna... Yeah, the software on the smart TV was not designed to connect with aftermarket remotes. But it's stupid because it still has a home button and every other button works. But there's one function button on the Amazon controller that pings it. Go buy a $300 Vizio. Who wants to buy me a $300 Vizio? Who's buying me it? Because I'm not buying that right now. I'll wait till Black Friday. Vandred, I know I need a Fire remote. Yeah, I know, but I got one from Amazon that was cheap. Here. Let's see. The app needs... So, like, for the app to work with it, the phone needs to be connected to the Wi-Fi, and the TV needs to be connected to the Wi-Fi. Then the phone controls the TV over the Wi-Fi network. But if I can't get on the TV first with the remote, I can't connect the TV to the Wi-Fi. So that's why I can't use my phone for it. I did try that. Here, let's see. It's a Toshiba It's a Toshiba Fire TV remote replacement. Now, here's a replacement, but where's the original? Should I try this one and get another wrong one? Should I just buy, like... The original's $35? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way for that. There's no way for that. Can I get a same-day delivery? Can I get a same-day delivery, guys? Amazon people? Hey, man, I respect my fellow Amazon delivery drivers. I did an order tonight. I got off that order. I hopped on YouTube for my fourth job. Oh, wait. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna have TV by tomorrow. What about a Fire Stick that comes with a remote? Interesting idea. Oh, is that what you meant? Wait a second. You're... But that's $35 for a Fire Stick. I need a remote for $10 that can fix this TV. All right, I need like a $10 remote that can fix this whole thing. That's all I really want and need in life. That's all I want. That's all I need. Fire remote, Fire TV remote, replacement voice control, compatible remote, fastest delivery tomorrow. They're like $40. Is the TV under warranty? No, it's a random TV. I broke my other TV that I got. I got this 50-inch Westinghouse Roku TV for $100 at Target 3 Black Fridays ago. And the other night I was rushing around and I just bumped the damn TV because I'm stupid. And it fell and it cracked. I have never broken a TV before in my life until now. I have a monitor from 2015 that still works. That's 10 years old, and usually I don't know many people that have a 10-year-old monitor that still functions perfectly. After the abuse I put it through with traveling with it, not because I broke it, but I traveled with it a lot. Tough. What do you guys think of them renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War? Department of War. The emote on your phone should work? The internet says the emote on your phone should work. Alright guys, you can go to bed. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to troubleshoot this TV. You're saying the emote should work. Emote. Is it money? Okay, let's see if the emote works, guys. Thank you. Let me see. In-app purchases. Roku TV is locked to its hardware. Well, this is a Fire TV. No promises. No, it's a Fire TV. It's stuck at this screen, and I already bought this on Amazon. I bought this, but it's not the right replacement one. It works. I'm trying it. I'm trying it. I'm trying it. I'm trying the emote for 50 cents for this week. It's not gonna work. I already know it's not gonna work. I'm trying it anyway, just for fun. I already know my fate though. I'm gonna have to go do an overnight shipping for. I know, Van Dread. I'm still trying it because I'm hopeful. I know it's not gonna work, but you gotta try things. Yeah, I know it's not gonna work. I already looked it up. No, it would only work if it's on the same if it's on the same Wi-Fi network. Like the streamer, you're a cuck. True, Ranger. Is there anybody who before I get off tonight, is there anybody else watching right now? By the way, thank you guys so much for all the support on this channel. We're really getting back in there. We're getting back in there. We're getting back up in there. Really appreciate it. Is there anybody who joined in the past couple weeks that I have not seen yet, or the past week? Anyone new? Liberal Cucks for life. The Liberal Cuck Show. Welcome back to the Liberal Cuck Show. This is your host, the Liberal Cuck. We love you. We love you. You guys must want to listen to my raps. That's probably why you're here. That's probably why you're here, aren't you? You're here for the raps, aren't you? You're here for the raps, aren't you? You're here for the raps. Have you tried a third remote? Go to hell. Here to crush you. How's Tomfoolery doing? How's he doing?
Fucking hilarious every single time. I always enjoy it.
Fine, I'll raid tomfoolery.
There's a bunch of people every time who are like, this is going to be lame, dude. Like, just sitting there and just like watching a movie. Everybody ends up enjoying it.
Thank you so much for $5, Isabel. I haven't seen you before. Thank you for $5. Thank you for $5. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting the programming. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Jolatariat. If you become a Patreon member, guys, the Patreon tier is $6 a month on Patreon. You can become a Jolatariat tier 1. I will give you something for that eventually. I don't know what, but I'll give you something for being a Jolatariat. Just so you know, if you want to support the Jolatariatism. Here's my Patreon link. Help support independent media. Remember, we're starting on Facebook next week, guys. We are starting on Facebook next week. Become a Jolatariat on there. $20? Isabel's giving $20 now? Thank you, Isabel. Isabel's a Jolatariat. Isabel. Thank you, Isabel. Isabel must be watching here in silence. Thank you. Third Coast Gem said, wow, $5 that didn't come from Sri. Facebook, you're gonna get a ton of boomers. That's kind of the goal. Alpha specs better than being trapped in echo chamber where everyone agrees with you. Yeah, dude. On my channel, we never have anyone disagree. Ever. I hide from disagreements all the time. That's why I do reaction content. Because I just want to get that cash and run away. Now you can afford a 4th remote. Thank you. Yeah, 4th remote. Yeah. We'll find one that works eventually. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cam, for thanking Isabel as well. Very nice of you. But yeah, the Patreon is going to be, like I said before, I feel like Patreon is the best platform to get donations for monthly versus, I don't know. If I have Facebook and Instagram and a bunch of other websites that end up getting traction. Did I tell you guys about, I went on Facebook and Googled Jola Politics, or I looked it up, and I found hundreds of my videos I've never posted on there, but posted to other pages. And they gave me credit, but I had no page on there yet. But like, there's a few videos that had like 80,000 views on it. So like, I'm going viral on Facebook, and I don't even know about it because other people are posting it. And I know that happens to people, but at my, yeah, I guess at my content size, I'm getting close to 30,000 subscribers, which is, I don't even think about that anymore because my channel's kind of fake, low-key. But like, you guys are all fake. But yeah, I guess I probably should have assumed that was happening already. Facebook is a cesspool. I agree. DoorDash. I deliver for Amazon Flex. I deliver for DoorDash sometimes. I have a regular job. 400 subs in 3 days. Hell yeah. What are we at now? I have a regular job and I do YouTube. And I make TikToks sometimes. I want to get a high... I can go viral on a lot of apps if I really got in my bag. I'm just too busy all the time. TikTok, I've had a couple of videos blow up. Let's see, we're at 29,482 subscribers. Very nice. Thank you guys so much. Alright guys, don't give any donations anymore. I'm getting off. I'm not going to see it. If I can't say thank you, you can't donate. Obviously. So it can be parasocial. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for chatting. Yeah, can we get 5 more likes to get 100 likes before I go to bed? 5 more likes for 100 likes before I go to bed. 100. We just need 100 likes. We can go to bed then. 500 more likes. Are you too busy or are you just lazy? Let's be frank. I do a lot of stuff. No, I do a lot of... I'm exhausted. I mean, I could be superhuman and just never stop. I probably need to triple my Vyvanse. But I honestly could, like, it's production. I need someone who knows how to shoot camera, who knows how to shoot video. Because I can make some vague statement in the woods about, like, you see this land? The billionaires want to take it from us and use it for profit. But we have to stand up and make sure this land is used for the people. Just like they said in that song, this land is your land. This land is your land. Luigi Mangione. And then you go viral on TikTok. True. 2 more likes. 2 more. Set up a tripod? Yeah, I can set up a tripod. Yeah. But it's not going to be as dynamic as it could be. The production value is not going to be as dynamic. Like, I want to do the Zarwan Mamdani. I mean, he didn't invent it by any means, but the walking video where you walk and talk to the camera, like stuff like that has aura. I have 99 likes on my screen. I have 99. I need 1 more like. I have 99. I need 1 more, guys. I need 1 more like. Where's my 1 more like at? I need 1 more. I got 99 on my screen. Who's the hidden like that I can't see? Oh, now people are disliking. You're unliking it. Now I'm at 98. 101. Okay, guys, we're good. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. All that kind of stuff. Hey, Daniel, do you know what IQ stands for? What does it stand for? Intelligence quiz? Intelligence quotient. See, I can't pronounce it. That means I have a low IQ.
IQ.
Ah, that's how you pronounce it.
IQ.
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 Okay. Okay.
Intelligence quotient.
Quotient, yeah.
IQ.
Yeah.
IQ.
IQ. Okay. All right. Again, good night, guys. Thank you for the donations. Good night. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. We're grinding every day. I have an Amazon order tomorrow morning. Shout out to my supporters. I really appreciate all of you. Have a good night, guys. IQ. Thank you very much. Did I never sign on to this order that I wanted to accept tomorrow? You guys distracted me. I couldn't get my Amazon order for tomorrow. What the hell? Jeff Bezos is going to be really mad. Bezos is going to spank me, dude. Alright, peace. Go to bed or this chat will keep you up. I know what they do. Alright, guys, have a good night.